All I keep hearing is Arsenal have the hardest run in. Arsenal missed a massive opportunity at Man City because they dropped points and they have the hardest run in, and everyone else is going to go on and win the title except for Arsenal. And it's winding me up. It's winding me up because I'm not saying we don't have a difficult run in. It is tricky. But by far the hardest, I don't see that. I'm going to break it down in this video. Why haven't we done this before? Well, with 10 games to go, Arsenal still had City to play. I expected all three title chasing sides to win their home games in midweek. So I just felt now, with Liverpool travelling to Man United, City travelling to Palace, and Arsenal travelling to Brighton, it just makes for a really compelling weekend of Premier League football in the title race in particular. But I have to address by going through, and I brought data, and I brought stats, and I'm going to break it all down as best as possible. I had to break down what I think is becoming a little bit of a myth, this idea that Arsenal's run is way harder. Let's go through it. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to take it to the tactical pad. And here they are. You got the points, you got the goal difference, you have got the sides remaining with the teams in grey being away fixtures essentially. Now there's some takeaways. I've written them down here. I think this is a takeaway, to be honest. I think this run here from Liverpool. Do you know what? Yellow's not a nice colour. Let's do it in blue. Here we go. I think this is a takeaway for me is that 4 away games in 5. And then that home game being Tottenham, 3 of them being in a row. And then you also look at the fact that their trips to London as well, while they're sort of negotiating Europa League football, trips to Fulham, trips to West Ham. Everton will do everything to try and stop Liverpool in their tracks as well. I think that's a really nasty run. Looking at it, just off the surface, that is a period in this season where I'm hoping as an Arsenal fan that Liverpool can drop points. Worth mentioning that while we're talking about Everton, the fact that they'll want to stop Liverpool, I think that is also true of this fixture here, Tottenham away. That's the one thing City don't have. They're not going to Man United, who are going to be desperate to stop City. Liverpool obviously have that on the weekend. Arsenal and Liverpool actually do have to travel to direct rivals, and they're going to come up against Everton and Tottenham, who whatever form they're in, they could be on 5 straight losses going into those games. It won't matter. They will be up for it for those particular games, and who can blame them? What other takeaways have we got? Oh, I think this is an interesting one. Arsenal's what I call schedule. And what I mean by that is they're playing home away, home away, home away, home away. Trying to negotiate Bayern Munich and the Champions League and all that, trying to get the balance right. I think that's probably a good thing. Knowing that for every away game they're playing in the Premier League, they're going to be at home next. And that's a good balance. Also worth mentioning that Arsenal have the most home games with 4, and actually only 4 away games left. City and Liverpool still have, as you can see, 5 away games each, with only 3 games at Anfield. That's a big block I've made there. But with only 3 games at Anfield and the Etihad left. And I think that will be a real benefit for Arsenal as well. I think that is a much better balance of their schedule. However, I think you've got what I'm going to show in green as a couple nice games coming up for Liverpool and Man City, with Palace at home and Luton at home. These, I'll be really honest, I see as almost guaranteed 3 points. I just think they're definitely getting 3 points from those. I'm not going into those weekends with great hope. With Arsenal facing Villa that weekend, for me it's just win and keep up with the pack. However, Arsenal, their next one is probably Bournemouth at home, which is, with all due respect to Bournemouth, I think are very good. That is probably one that City and Liverpool fans are looking at and going, yep, that's probably the game they win. You never know. Obviously, things happen in football. But Arsenal have to earn it to get to that point. So if I just show you in red, these fixtures, Brighton away, Villa at home, Wolves away, Chelsea home, Tottenham away, with the Champions League in the middle of those as well, I think that's a really, really awkward 5. So if Arsenal gets those final 3 games in some kind of position of control or hope in the title race, you've got to say they'll have done really, really well, and they'll be hoping that points are dropped elsewhere so that they can kind of keep up or take advantage if they are to go on a really good run. But that is a really tricky 5. Any other things to mention? I think I'm probably just going to highlight this in green as well. I think all the sides will be happy that in their final 3, 2 of them are at home. But I do think the best run is Man City's on paper. I just look at that and I think that is the best run of the lot. And it's not just me saying on the surface, look at it and go, there you go, that's your video. City have the easiest run. I brought some data, some stats that actually can give hope to every single one of these 3 teams and maybe give Arsenal and Arsenal fans something to really believe in as well. So let's break that down. We're going to go. Here we go. So I've got the title race run in some key stats, and what I'm going to show you we'll do it in yellow. Some of the key things that jump out to me about this. Firstly, Man City facing only one team in the top 6 this season left. I mean, or the current top 6 in the league. I think that will be, and I don't think the top 6 will change. Man United, poor as they are, I don't think they'll fall out of 6th place. So I think they'll be really happy about that. Man City, they don't have, some of the better teams to play. Arsenal and Liverpool, on the other hand, have 3 each. So that is going to be more tricky. I also think this is a benefit for Man City, that they've got 5 teams between 7th and 14th. You might go, why? That's more than Liverpool and Arsenal, so surely that's going to be quite tricky. At this stage of the season, these teams won't have a lot to play for. They're not in a relegation battle. They might have hopes of Europe, but generally Man City will probably think, we'll be playing teams that are on the beach. Maybe not fully on the beach, but you get what I'm saying. That will be a benefit as well. In terms of the relegation battle, I think there's much to say there. 2 sides that City will be facing in the relegation battle. Maybe that could be tricky for them because obviously those teams will be fighting like crazy. But then Arsenal, this certainly is important to notice that they're facing 3 sides: Man United away, Tottenham away and Chelsea at home, who have actually weirdly done quite good in Big 6 games this season. That is awkward for Arsenal. They've got to face teams that are traditionally Big 6, that will have very good players and fans with very high expectations of their teams to do something in these games. It doesn't get much better for Arsenal as we move down, because the average position of the opposition in the 8 games facing them between now and the end of the season, they're 9th. 9th is the average position for those teams. 10th for Liverpool, so not a lot in it, but 12th for Man City. Man City's by far the best there. Then I've got here the opposition total goals scored and the opposition total goals conceded. Arsenal are facing the teams who have scored a combined 390 goals, more and quite significantly more than City and Liverpool's opposition teams. But in terms of goals conceded, not a lot in it between Arsenal and City. Again, Arsenal facing the side that have conceded the least. So you can see that Arsenal on paper definitely have the hardest run in terms of opposition, what they've been doing this season. But Man City will also be relishing this. 409 goals conceded in total by the teams that they are facing. They'll be thinking there's an opportunity to close down that gap. Now, Arsenal fans, I know it's looking quite bleak. I know you're thinking, thanks, James. I've seen a really difficult run. I've seen trips to the Big 6, and now I'm seeing that actually we're playing the teams that have conceded the least and scored the most. But this is where I think there's a little bit of hope for Arsenal. Let me show you this with a better green. Let's use this green. 21 points. Oh, I was wanting that like that. There we go. Let's do this again. There we go. 21 points out of 24 for Arsenal in these exact fixtures a year ago. Now, by the way, there's an asterisk with this because Man City obviously wouldn't have faced Luton, who've only just come up to the Premier League, so we've replaced them with Leicester, who are 18th, where Luton are in the league now. But Arsenal's 21 out of 24, and those only 3 drop points were a defeat against Man United, where, I have to say, Arsenal were the better team in that game at Old Trafford. They'll take a lot of confidence from that. Have you ever played football or maybe played any sport where you're going up against other team, and if you've beaten them before, if you're going somewhere to play and you've done it before, you immediately go with confidence because you know you've done it. I think that could be a big thing for Arsenal, more so than for City and Liverpool, who Liverpool only picked up 15 out of 24 points from these exact fixtures a year ago, and Man City also dropped 7 points from those fixtures a year ago. That just says to me there's an opportunity here for Arsenal to actually go in with real confidence. And City and Liverpool might not drop many points, but maybe they don't have to, because if Arsenal have the confidence to repeat what they did last year, then who knows? Maybe they'll still have enough to get over the line despite the run of games. Of course, when you're talking about these fixtures and these teams that each side are playing, and you're looking at the points they picked up from the reverse fixtures earlier this season, Liverpool will be feeling really good about that with 19 out of 24 points. But Arsenal, Man City certainly haven't done badly. I think the really big thing for Liverpool will be the concern that in these fixtures last season, they didn't do better than 15 out of 24, but a very different team who didn't get into the Champions League, and they've come a long way since then. So that is my breakdown of the run-in. That is my breakdown of what's to come for City, Arsenal and Liverpool. And I hope I've put to bed a little bit that, yes, Arsenal have the harder run-in. I think the stats prove that. I think just looking at it on paper, the fixtures tells you that. But I do just get this impression that Liverpool's run isn't what people are saying. When you looked at some of those numbers, there wasn't a great difference between Arsenal and Liverpool's. In fact, if I just show it to you one more time, I don't think there's a massive difference between... Let's clear this. And let's show... I don't think there's a massive difference there in some of those particular stats. And I think when you look at that run of 3 away games for Liverpool, that's tricky. there's something that is going for all three teams in this title race. I've written it down. Arsenal, I think, are the most complete side, and defence wins titles apparently. They certainly have the best defence in the league. I think most people are acknowledging that now. Liverpool are the best chance creators. So they've always got goals in them. As tricky as they might get, you always back them to get a goal. And you've got the Klopp factor. Man City have the best running, and they've done it many, many times. That's why I still just about lean towards City, even though they need 3 results to go their way, 2 for Liverpool and 1 for Arsenal in this title running because of the way the points are looking now. But City is still looking really good for it. But I think Arsenal have a really good chance because of the confidence they're playing with now, because the run of 9 wins and a draw in the last 10, which I think is the best of the 3, and because of what they've done against these teams last season, these exact fixtures and the defence. So Arsenal fans, I think there's a real chance here. I don't think City have a much, much better run. I do think it's better. And Liverpool's, I'm not even sure, is even a better run than Arsenal's. Maybe slightly, but there's not a lot in it. This weekend, big games. Arsenal travels to Brighton. I think they'll just about do it, though it will be difficult. And I think Palace as well will work City hard, but I think City will still get the win. Liverpool travel to Man United. I know a lot of Arsenal fans will be thinking, is this the day that Liverpool drop points against Man United away from home? Old Trafford could be difficult. Just look at this. Look at the amount of shots that Man United have conceded per game amongst Europe's big 5 leagues. Only Sheffield United have conceded more shots. Liverpool, I think, are going to have a field day, if I'm honest. I think they're going to beat Man United quite comfortably. So I'm looking at that other run that I pointed out in this video as the point of the season where Liverpool might drop points. That's just my analysis of the title run-in. That is what I'm thinking. Arsenal will get top 2. That's what I think. I don't think they're going to finish 3rd in this race. I think they'll at least get top 2. They certainly can win it. But hey, it's making for a fantastic end to the season either way. And I just want to say a really big thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, actually hit the links right here to watch more content like this, including my Football First podcast, which drops every Monday to Friday at 6 AM. And I know it's annoying, I am really sorry to have to ask, but if you want to show support to the channel, hitting the like and subscribe buttons help promote the content much more than you could possibly know. Thanks again.